Now, we'll go to the callers now, and there's Rico from Toronto. Are you there, Rico?
Hey, how you doing, Alan?
Not so bad.
How you doing, Alan?
Yes, not so bad.
Okay, good stuff. I wanted your opinion on something. Immediately when I saw it, like when it happened last week, the first thing I thought about was like the Teutonic weapons, HAARP, like when the the earthquake happened in Haiti.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because it just seems it's too well coordinated to me. Like Clinton's like she canceled her trip. She's gonna go and save. And I don't know, these people don't do nothing for nothing. You know what I mean? It's a military operation.
Yeah.
It's so well coordinated. The Pentagon to go rescue people. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't jive. That something's fishy. You know. And I like my mom was there, and she's back now. And she just said, you know, the bodies and stuff like that. But I know those people don't do anything for nothing. So that was just. I just wanted your opinion on it. Like, what did you think to me that's what could have been?
There's a few things that could have been. In fact, again, I flipped through Brzezinski's book Between Two Ages today, and that was, I think, printed in 1970, and he does go through the weather warfare techniques that would be employed. He said maybe a decade, 2 decades from now, he said. And he said it's a great covert way where any country could literally use such covert weapons that would be undetectable. You'd put it down to natural disasters, but in reality you're using them for military purposes. What did get me was the U.S. military seemed already prepared to go in there. And you know yourself that even before they invaded Afghanistan, before 9/11 happened, it took them 6 months or 7 months. They were building up troops for going into that area. The military doesn't work so quickly. And what amazed me too, reading through the newspapers, was some of the big staff that had to go over with the military just happened all to be in Miami at the time. So they just hopped aboard the ships and away they went. So, well, see, we'll never know. This is the beauty of weather warfare. We'll never know. When the tsunami hits, remember, there was talk at the time of U.S. military being in the area. In fact, they tried to land in one country and bring in the Marines right away. They were there. And the country that was a Muslim country refused to have them. And it was in the papers at the time. They said, no, out you go. So is it being used for military purposes? I would say, why not? Since they've got it, they can use it.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came into my mind when it happened. I said, it's too well coordinated. Like the response time was too, you know, it was like a grand theater. Like Clinton saying she cancels her trip, and I'm like, for a little island that 200 something years ago kicked some people and did a revolution, get some people out. I said, nobody cares that much. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm just saying. Like,
well, yeah. Well, now they're saying that part of the Southern Command for the whole of the Americas now went over there. What they're claiming is because it's a geopolitical area of important strategic importance, and that's why the military has gone in first to take it over. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes it, because I got emails like within a few days, and that's what the people were saying. They were saying even they got shots of cams of the Dominican Republic. It was the way it shook. It didn't shake like a normal earthquake, and how Cuba wasn't affected, and the other places. But the way they even an email I got sent, it was like 13 reasons why this is probably HAARP. And it had it was breaking it down. And I thought that before I got the email.
Yes.
I got the email maybe Saturday or Sunday, and before that I was like, no, this is not right.
Yeah. And I know too that, I think it was 1978, at the United Nations, all the big countries signed an agreement not to use weather warfare against each other in war purposes. Now that means they can also use it internally on their own people, though, by the way. And under the North American agreements, in the Southern Command Agreement, then those little islands in the Caribbean come under American jurisdiction. So technically you could use it on them, but it's too fortunate it happened just at this time. They're all ready to go. It's a big show demonstration. We won't know yet what the true purpose of it is yet either. We won't know yet what the true purpose is.
Well, I have a friend who basically his family has family members who live in Haiti. He has a lot of family members, and what it told me is that this is when Clinton was going in and out of there, because the last year, I think last year he was there for like 7 or 8 months, like Clinton, and they have interest that they're doing, like a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing. And supposedly, what my friend told me, that his uncle who lives there saw a whole bunch of military American troops in a certain region, and they barred every Haitians from going there, and supposedly they found something, whether it be oil deposit, because I know there's oil there, whether it be large oil deposit, whether it be minerals, whether it be gold, something, and they weren't allowing the people to go, because I talked about it with them. So these people these mobs don't do nothing for nothing. You know, these psychopaths don't do nothing for nothing. You know, and then when he saw Bush like laughing on national television, you know, when they're supposedly doing a charity event and raising money for it, it just didn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. And once again, too, I can guarantee the money that will never get to where it's supposed to go, with Bush Sr. and Clinton in charge of it, because that's what happened with the last tsunami victims. They're still waiting for the cash. Yeah.
How would you suggest, like, a more, I guess, proactive way to donate, I guess, for finding a more smaller organization? Because I already know that the Red Cross usually keeps the money for 70% of it gets eaten up.
Yeah,
that's
right.
If they you know, how would you suggest maybe a better way?
I'll tell you, it's very difficult to do now. What people don't realize is that, remember when the tsunami hit, that the president of the U.S. got up and said, there's only 2 charitable organizations that we are promoting. That was the Red Cross and the Salvation Army. Lots of other little charities went in there. The same thing happened with New Orleans. And right away when they went in, these little charities, with the active teams to help, and there was all the money was going into active teams going in there, the IRS came down on them within a couple of days and stopped them. The IRS. Meaning no one's allowed to compete with the authorized ones at the top for the big boys.
Well, that's exactly what's going on. I'm hearing they're not letting, like, other people who want to help come in.
Yes.
They're monopolizing the aid. If it has to do with helping people, what does it have to do with only you doing it? And something else I said, how could military, what the hell does the military have to do with relief?
Yeah.
That's an operation. That has nothing to do with relief.
That's right.
What does that have to do with big M16 have to do with helping somebody, like, clean up their country? You need people, relief workers. You don't need the military. That's an invasion. You don't need the military.
That's right.
That's the military without firing a shot.
Yeah, I know. They're already fencing off the areas for the foods and putting up big walls and all the rest of it. Back with more after this break. Hi, folks. I'm Alan Watts, and this is Cutting Through the Matrix. Just before I take the next caller, in fact, I'll just mention that the Sovereign Independent's got an article on Haiti, and France apparently has accused the U.S. of putting in an occupational military force as well. So there's kind of bickering over it between the French and the U.S. Over, I guess, territory there. So I'll put this link up on my site at the end of the show.